you're coming home.
I want to stay here with Mr. Burns.
I suggest you leave immediately.
Or what? You'll release the dogs or the bees? Or the dogs with bees in their mouth and when they bark they shoot bees at you? Well, go ahead. Do your worst. He locked the door. I'll show him.
Yes, the dogs and the bees. Well, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Freedom Honey Podcast as we continue our descent into cult-like status. Hope everyone had a good week. Man, there's been some crazy stuff going on this week, and we're going to get into it. But first, everyone who's new to the show, I got some comments. I'm like, who the heck is this guy, and why is he talking on the interwebs and everything? So allow me to formally introduce myself if you haven't been following. I'm Mike at Freedom Honey. Me and my heterosexual amigo Pedro started this beekeeping company a couple of years ago. I ended up moving out to the boonies out in the swamp of Beaver County, which is just east of Edmonton. And from there, in one of the old outbuildings, we found a bunch of beekeeping equipment. And we decided, I being a vet and recently got out, Pedro still in, we said, hey, let's do this beekeeping thing. Let's make some honey, and whatever we make, we'll just donate it back to the Veterans Food Bank. And from there, we found out that beekeeping is super therapeutic and helps with PTSD because of the buzzing that the bees do. It triggers neurons in the brain and creates like a calming, soothing effect. So, I started getting some buddies out here and get them in the suit, do some beekeeping stuff, drink cheap beer. And that's kind of how it all started. From there, Pedro was one of the troops that got kicked out of the army for not getting the jab. And we started speaking out and fighting back and going from there. We didn't think there was a lot of support for these guys and girls that got the boot. We started seeing videos and other people speaking out. And then we saw what the Veterans for Freedom guys did. We were big fans of the convoy and everything was happening. I mean, Pedro at that time was basically put under house arrest. Some other friends too. And, I was getting those phone calls in the middle of the night. Guys that were scared, didn't know what was happening. They saw I was speaking out, and we weren't afraid. And these guys were like, man, I got kids, I don't know what to do. And anyway, from there, we found the V4F guys, and they helped pony up the cash to help Pedro with the lawsuit and got him on the list with that. Some other friends too. And then we started the podcast. I mean, this thing was just kind of us to kind of fight back against Justin Trudeau censorship. It kind of started as a big joke, really, at first. And then we went from there to making some content, and the V4F guys were like, hey, like, we kind of like your show. I'm like, I just kind of sit here and just yell at the computer, but sure. He's like, well, they're building the V4F TV and, needed some content. So I said, yeah, I'm down. I can throw a show once a week. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And that's what brings us here. So this is episode 23 of the Freedom Honey Podcast. The whole cult-like status thing, that kind of started. I was telling Pedro what we were doing. And he's like, what else? You going to start a cult? And maybe we will. Maybe that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's kind of a dig towards the Diagolon guys and some of the leftist cults out there. But we said, hey, if we can achieve cult-like status, I think we're doing pretty good. And with that, guys, I do drink throughout these, so I'm gonna crack open a fresh PBR, and we're gonna get into the fun topics of this week because it's been a shit show. So the big news this week is we're going to talk about the Moscow Concert Hall attack. We're just going to go over the facts, a little bit of the conspiracy, but I mean, the meat and potatoes of it all is the attack on the concert hall on Friday was the worst in Russia for a long time, I guess. More than 100 people were killed, and government stormed the complex. How did the attack unfold? A rock band was due to perform to a packed Chorus City Hall on the outskirts of Moscow on Friday evening. The video showed at least 4 people wearing camouflage shooting randomly before proceeding into the concert hall itself and opening fire there. Russian investigators said a flammable liquid was used to start the fire, which engulfed the facade of the building. Who were the Chorus City victims? As of Saturday afternoon, at least 133 people have been confirmed dead, while at least 60 remaining in serious condition. Who were the attackers? Well, basically what's happening now is Russia is claiming that they were Ukrainian. There's some evidence that they've brought up to say that. On the other hand, everyone else is claiming it was ISIS, even though personally I don't see why ISIS would attack Russia. They've got no history of attacking Russia. It's not really, I don't think, on their to get list. But I mean, the mainstream media has been in total lockstep saying it wasn't Ukraine. Don't worry about it. It wasn't Ukraine, and blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, I'm not going to get into stories or I'm not going to get into theories or any of this. I'm just saying something's a little fishy here, and we'll wait to see what plays out. But if this was Ukraine, I'm telling you, the retaliation is going to be next level. So buckle up. And on the Ukraine front, that being said, I saw this news article from the Washington Post, reposted by the National Post. In this Ukraine village, almost no men are left. And that's just to show you the casualties and the losses that the Ukrainians have had. I mean, it's gotten to the point where they have like recruiting gangs on the street, just randomly grabbing people, and to the front you go. I saw one video a couple weeks ago of a nightclub in Kiev that basically these guys showed up and started rounding them up. I'm surprised with stories like this stuff is going on. I mean, I would personally, if I was of this age and didn't want to go die in the meat grinder that is the Russian front, I would definitely be hiding or getting the hell out of Dodge as soon as possible. So that's it. Okay, what other came up this week? This is from Epoch Times. I like these guys. They do good work. Young veteran sues feds for $18 million after allegedly being offered medically assisted suicide unprompted. This is a story that I'm rooting for this guy. I really, really am. The maid stuff I took personally. After the original veteran came forward, and this was, oh my God, it's been a couple of years now. Buddy of mine, Mark Minke from the Operation Tango Romeo podcast, got that call. Right after that, he called me. I was in my truck on my way to Fort Mac to go do a job. And he's like, man, you will never believe the tape I just heard. And it was the apology tape from VA to this guy saying that, oh, no, we didn't mean it and stuff like that. Even though on the original phone call, they were saying things like, you're not the first one we've offered this to. We'll take care of your family. We'll make sure everything's okay. You know, blah, blah, blah. And it's heartbreaking that the government will give money to everyone else. But when it comes to helping vets, you know what? It's deny until you die, or deny until we kill you. So friends of the show, Valor Law, Christine Christensen, and her team are doing the lawsuit for this, so they're going to bring it forward to the federal court, and I hope he wins. I mean, take the money, man. Honestly, at this point, just cripple the system. So good for him, and good for her for helping out. You guys, honestly, Valor Legal doing beautiful work. They are the ones coming up with the main lawsuit for the unvaxxed troops, and so far, every now and then we get little updates and stuff like that. So far, it's going really, really good. This may end sooner than later. And when that happens, I mean, we're having a party. I do need to contact Christine because we got to go over what's going to happen when the victory happens, and what's the victory party plans. So it should be fun. All right. Where else are we? Oh, yes. Fishermen, fisher women, fisher people in Newfoundland, and Stompy the horse is back, baby. So so this week we had a massive crowd of protesters in St. John's. Fishermen were upset over some of the terms, and kind of like the same thing that happened with the wheat board out west. Basically, it's overregulated and they're losing money. The new regulations are basically they're losing their livelihood. So a lot of these guys got nothing less to lose. So they went there and demonstrated, and the assholes decided to unleash the horses. One guy got his hip broken, and it was just a giant cluster, for lack of better words. good news is as of today, so it's Saturday. Apparently, I didn't really read a whole lot into it, but some of their demands were met, and they're taking it as a victory. So that's good. Um, I think overregulation is the downfall of a lot of the agricultural and fisheries and forestry. Some of it's good. Obviously, we don't want to depopulate the entire um, population of fish or deforest massive parts of our country. But when it comes to like the milk people and the freaking wheat boards, I mean, it just too much bureaucracy just leads to complications and problems. So with that, glad they won. I hope this gets resolved, and Stompy the horse will apparently ride again. Okay, that being said, speaking of being gouged at every end, so April 1st, there is a nationwide protest. This is going to be Parliament Hill. I know my Mrs. Freedom Honey is going to be down in Edmonton. I think it's going to be at the one Liberal MP's office, Randy Boissonnault. And it's going to be a massive demonstration, coast to coast. And basically, we're done paying this garbage tax. We all know it doesn't do anything. We all know it doesn't help the environment. We know you're just gouging people. The feds won't say how much money they've collected. The feds won't say really much about this. And it's just an absolute shit show. So enough is enough. I'm tired of paying more on gas, more on heating, more on fuel, more on everything. So hopefully the protest makes a large enough statements where the feds will capitulate, but I highly doubt it because they're a bunch of egotistical assholes. Side note on that, I will show footage. I think I got some footage here of the fisherman protest. So let's go check that out.
Where the fuck do we live?
So yeah, all this good stuff was shared by Daisy Media, a friend of the V4F group. If you guys aren't following him, go check him out. Facebook, Twitter, X now. Give him definitely a follow because he's doing really good work. And the amount of crap this guy takes and just keeps showing up there again and again for every protest, every demonstration. I'm like, tip of the hat. Massive tip of the hat. Okay, so that covers April 1st. We talked about the fisher people, fishermen, fisherwomen. Let's talk about the big news that happened this week outside of all that fun jazz. Secret RCMP report warns Canadians may revolt once they realize how broke they are. All I got to say to this is, how broke are we? Right from the get-go, the report authors warn that whatever Canada's current situation, it will probably deteriorate further in the next 5 years. We know, everyone knows that we can't continue with this massive spending. They're just deficit spending after deficit spending, racking up the debt. They keep saying their job numbers are going up, but we all know that's garbage because it's a lot of it. It's just government jobs that they're doing to screw with the numbers. Eventually, inflation's up. People are losing their home. Bankruptcies are through the roof. I went to the grocery store today and got a few things. It was like $165, and I went to Walmart. I didn't even go to like the fancy, expensive Safeway or anything like that, or Sobeys. People are truly suffering. Like, I do pretty well. My wife works too, and we're okay. But I couldn't imagine single parents or people that make fairly low incomes. My heart goes out to you guys. But this if if things don't start getting better, I could definitely see some massive civil unrest. I mean, even just look at our Canadian dollar; it just keeps going down and down and down and down. As of today, I mean, it's what was it? It was 72 cents or something like that. It just keeps going down. I mean, how much longer until we're at that 60 cents and then we just keep going down? Um, it's terrible. I mean, wages have had to go up, minimum wages have to go up, but this has all the makings of a terrible situation. No matter let's even look at gold. Gold's skyrocketing right now. It's up at 2900 US per ounce. Speculated to go up to possibly 3,500 US. Bitcoin shot through the roof. I know I've almost doubled mine. So people, let it be said that Freedom Honey was the first one to make a run on the banks. I mean, at this point, I think I'm just gonna pull out all my cash and throw it in some gold, some hard assets, or something like that I can hold on to. This is not financial advice, by the way. This is just something that I'm looking at doing because watching our money keep devaluing. I mean, having cash means nothing anymore. Part of me thinks that this is possibly a massive scheme to rein in the Great Reset, which wouldn't surprise me. But I mean, I even like this photo. This was I think it was Dave Thompson showed this one. I could just see Pedro being the shadowy figure in the background and controlling the bees from a distance. This is good stuff, though. Okay, what else are we going to talk about? U.S. invasion of the border. So, TikToker tells illegal immigrants how to invade American homes and invoke squatter rights. And before we're going to get into this, we're going to show one quick video of the border. This went crazy viral this week. This is a group of migrants basically rushing the border. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's not stopping. And I mean, good for the Texas National Guard for kind of being so restrained. I know, just say in that situation, the itchy trigger finger might have taken over. But it's happening here too. I mean, people are basically invading our country as well, invading the U.S. And now they're telling people to invade homes and invoke squatters' rights. So this is, this is kind of guys part of the show where I'm going to give a little bit of advice. Myself and my wife, we've taken some precautions to kind of secure our home and in case of anything or intruders or anything like that. So yeah, we have guard dogs as well as attack bees. Take it for what you will. Also enough farm implements that she's very good at using, and I spent my entire 12-year career in the military perfecting the use of such farm equipment. But basically what they're saying is they go on apps like Zillow, like the rental apps, to see what's available, and from there they'll case the place. If no one's there, they'll kick the doors down, change the locks. They'll do and then when you show up to show the house, like as a rental place, someone's living there. You call the cops show up, there's people who are living there. And there was one woman I think it was in New York. She ended up getting arrested because people had broken into her home and basically took it over. So I think the trick at this point is make your house less desirable than the neighbors. Or, simple, if you do have a rental property like this, get a camera or something. At least some eyes on the place or a neighbor or something to watch it in case they see some people in it. That way they can inform you right away and you can deal with it super quick before they've, brought in furniture and stuff like that. Because this one illegal was saying that he's 7 homes of his friends have already taken over. And there's stories like this popping up all over the place. Like I said, I've got the boys to watch the house, so there ain't no one coming up my driveway. Okay, and also like prep yourself. I mean, with everything happening involving the financial crisis and um, the money supply issue, the influx of more and more migrants. Um, how do I say this? I mean, things may start getting a little rough, so try to take some precautions. You know, we're out in kind of in the middle of nowhere, so you know we've bought some extra food. We have a cistern as our water source, so we have extra water just in case. Our neighbor's on a well, so we could always pick from them, and we have enough. We have enough to defend ourselves if anything ever happened. But I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy out there. Okay. Now we're gonna go to everyone's favorite segment. It's gonna be the douche of the week. This one's gonna go to Mark Miller, excuse me. The immigration minister since July, and just helping literally flood the gates with more asylum seekers. They talk about doing caps and doing this, and I mean the housing issue is ridiculous. I think in Brampton they found 25 people living in one basement suite. They're not doing anything. They need to shut the border down. They need to stop this immediately, or else the market's going to get so high, more bankruptcies, people are going to have nowhere to live. It's just going to be homeless encampment after homeless encampment for people that have jobs and are hardworking, and it's just going to be more people being destitute. So, for helping destroy this country, for helping people lose their homes, for helping the flow of migrants to the point where we can't sustain ourselves, yet alone help them, Mark Miller, you are this week's Freedom Honey douche of the week. That's Mike approved, Freedom Honey approved, Pedro approved, and yeah. Okay, last but not least, let's check to see. Oh, all right, before I get into the Pedro update of the week, we are going to talk about merchandising. So, looks like this week, YouTube decided to demonetize us. This is free V4F entirety. So any of the shows no longer getting any kind of revenue from YouTube. So we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Good old-fashioned merchandising. Let's watch the clip. So yeah, if you want to help the cause, go to the website V4F and purchase some sweet swag. I myself need to get a new flag because I needed to drape my secret hidden bunker / recording room / wife's office. Good stuff there. Lots of really, really nice stuff. The hoodies are really super nice. I don't know, Pedro's got one, and like he basically sleeps in that thing. But yeah. Besides that, Pedro's doing good. We were talking about him this week that with all of the crime and everything happening in the transit system, we may have to bring Pedro into the fold and I don't know, maybe be a vigilante in the night or something like that. I think in a world of Chads, be a Pedro. We need more of them. Also, he uploaded this hilarious photo. That's when I win the lottery. You're going to know because the shit's about to get real. Okay, guys. And last but not least, last time on the episode, we were talking about expanding the cult, and like every good cult, we need a theme song. I got AI to make this like super cool metal thing, and then I found this other AI program to make like a video. So enjoy the next 1 minute and 11 seconds of the Freedom Honey theme song, Temple of the Holy Pedro, because that's what the cult's called.
In the heart of Shango, free's blood, the temple stands for reaching for the sky. It was the dark with cryptic rules. Whispers echo through its hollow roof. Holy Pedro, chant his name on prophet to mystic, you might the flame. Desire your place with forbidden lore.
Yeah, so that's Temple of the Holy Pedro. That is the Freedom Honey theme song. And with that, guys, thank you for hanging out with us for the last 25 minutes, kind of listening to our story, helping support the cause, helping support the message of everything that we're doing here, helping the V4F guys, spreading the word of the call, the gospel of Pedro, as we call it. And you guys have yourself a great week. Take care. God bless. All hail the Queen Bee, and we're out.
This is why people OD on pills and jump from the Golden Gate Bridge.